Well, what is going on, everyone? It's time to pop our tops and react to another epic moments video. So my last podcast was responding to Vakey and his two videos, top 20, top 10 epic moments in CrossFit Games history. And it's as if YouTube knows what it is that I'm watching. It's as if YouTube knows what it is that I like, because just the other day it served up to me another suggested video, which was a top 10 epic moments from the CrossFit Games produced by CrossFit Games themselves. So this is a video, not sure how I haven't seen this before. It's from back in 2021, or maybe it was 2022 in the lead up to that games. And it's there, top 10 moments, epic things to have happened in CrossFit Games history. So again, I've not seen this. This is going to be a live reaction, and I thought it would be fun, just as we're still kind of trying to whet the appetite, trying to get in the mood for Fort Worth in less than a month's time. Anything CrossFit related, I want to consume it at the moment. Even if Dave Castro's athlete interviews, keeping up with them is basically a full-time job at this point. But we're taking a break from that, and we're going to watch this video, and we're going to live react. Now with Vakey, I stopped and I started. I'm going to try and do this where basically I'm just going to talk over the top of it. So this video should end up being about 15 minutes. This podcast should be about 50 minutes. Nothing more to say, then let's get into it. Okay, so these are the top 10 games moments. It says according to the CrossFit community. I'm not sure what whether they've done any surveys or anything like that, but here we go. Okay, so I still think this is intro. This is showing maybe a couple of the moments that will come. Carry PS, that should be on there. Push-pull, I totally understand that. We've got the number one moment there, Fibonacci final. But in number 10, we have 2017, Stacey Tovar finishing her CrossFit career. So a little bit before my time. I've seen the 2017 documentary, but wouldn't have been particularly familiar with the characters, with the players, or what this appears to be is after the games is finished, her hanging her boots up. I think a couple of people have done this. I wonder whether Stacey Tovar was the first person to do it. I mean, I get it. If she's a legend, I think she went to the games about 8 times. I really enjoyed it when she was a commentator last year or the year before. If she invented doing this, taking your shoes off and leaving them on the floor, I think I remember Sam Briggs doing that as well, then yeah, it's a baller moment. I'm not sure when I'm wanting or talking about top 10 moments, the best things to have happened at the CrossFit Games, I'm very happy with something that isn't games related. If it's not the sport, I want events. I want performances. I want epic feats and achievements and races. So I wouldn't personally put anything like this on my top 10. But I can understand if it's the end of an era, and if she's the person who invented laying her shoes out there, then we're all well and good. So number 9 is an actual event. It's an actual moment. Now, I've said my piece on whether I think this is like the best weightlifting event, the 1RM, like pure strength test. It was good. How they laid it out was good. One platform, one person at a time, and dropping out as they went. The only problem with this in 2019 is that the field had been so drastically cut that the strongest people not necessarily were there to do this. Now, I'm not into like conspiracy theories and how that affected the overall result of 2019. I still enjoy 2019. It's an absolutely valid CrossFit Games victory if you ask me. But this being one of the top 10 moments pains me somewhat because we don't know who the best lifter was that year, because not everyone got to do it. In fact, I think I remember there were particular characters, maybe on the men's and the women's side, who we think maybe would have won this event had they still got there. I mean, Barnhart versus Tia, so I think they've just singled out the women here. It was good, because all of the way up until this point, it sort of looked like Amanda was going to win it. She seemed comfortable with every bar until all of a sudden she wasn't. Tia, like an animal, hunting, sniping around the place. Look at that. She knew she was going to lift this. she knew that she was going to win it, but what a fierce competitor, like the best there ever has been. And a little smirk, just when she gets past that sticking point. I do enjoy that. And that's an epic celebration as well. That was hype. It was good fun to watch. I can't deny that. Okay, number 8. The tug of war, push-pull, Froning versus Bridges. Way before my time, but goes down in CrossFit lore as one of the best events, the best finishes ever. I'm not sure how much of a competitor Josh Bridges was with Rich Froning. This was his 4th and final year winning the individuals. But what I think makes this so epic in so many people's minds is, the closeness of it. Like the sprint finish, tight finish of it. But as well, it's 2 American heroes. You've got Rich Froning, like the all-American man. Absolute Captain America figure. He's won the CrossFit Games 3 times already. He's a hero, he's a champ. You've got Josh Bridges, who's got this persona, this character. He's a Navy SEAL, and we know how much Americans revere their military heroes. So I do get from that perspective why this is so cemented in the general mind of CrossFit fans, that you've got like Mr. America versus Mr. America, and it is an epic finish. And he just wins it, and Josh Bridges celebrating. Look at that. Come on, you've got to enjoy Josh Bridges celebrating a win. So that's a moment. I can accept that. We'll go with this. And a completely different moment in many respects. Carrie Pierce, 2019, Mary. Now, people have slagged Mary off. 20 minutes, AMRAP, boring, watching people doing the same thing. But this was amazing on both the men's and the women's side, if you ask me. On the men's side, you had Noah Olsen versus Matt Fraser. 20 minutes, toe-to-toe. And I think Noah Olsen only managed to eke out like a 3-rep lead or something like that. It was nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat stuff for the whole 20 minutes. That wasn't the case with Carrie Pierce. This was just sit back and drink it in, because she was a beast. Every single handstand push-up strict. She had to do that for the time-wise of it to get the score that she did. She beat everyone in the women's field, everyone in the men's field as well. I presume like a world record for this, and it was made for her. Such an impressive moment. Maybe only matched for Carrie Pierce in terms of her performance in Atalanta in 2020, the year later. But yeah, beast. We've missed out. Carrie Pierce, in my opinion, retiring too early. She still had more to give to the game. She still had more to give in terms of entertainment at the CrossFit Games. Okay, 21:15:9 complex, 2014. Maddox helping. Jonakowski. Okay, do you know, I don't think I'd realised that Jonakowski had been around that long. He's not going to the games this year because he was ill during semi-finals. I think that's what transpired. But he's been about since 2014. And he's cut his hand open and he's trying to do something. But so here's the moment, not the people cheering around. We all know we hate that. Clapping for the loser. No, the loser doesn't want your support and encouragement. But someone's just given him a glove. What was it? Did they see Neil Maddox? Oh, and he gets in just below the time cap. So I guess that's like a nice heartwarming thing. That's a decent moment to be up there. Bailey catching his sunglasses. Okay, I think I popped off on this one when I was reacting to Vaki's moments. Maybe I'll dial back my reaction and my rhetoric. It is impressive that he wins the event in spite of that distraction, or is able to catch his glasses and go on. So there is an element of performance to it. But I still feel it's a little bit like who cares? Like, you should have just let the glasses go. And if this is a top 10 moment in all of CrossFit Games history, that keeps on being my point, then we're in trouble. Okay, well, this is interesting. They've got the women's and the men's of this one singular event. So 2 of the best 10 moments, which also include Stacey Tovar taking her shoes off and Dan Bailey catching his glasses. I just feel these lists are a little bit lazy. Like there is so much more epic action Fraser was always going to win it. It would have been more there are plenty of guys in the CrossFit community, CrossFit Games, who can lift more than 380 pounds clean in it. I mean, it's impressive. I'm not going to pretend that I or anyone I know can get close to that. But is this really top 5 moments in Games history? Former Olympic weightlifter Matt Fraser lifting the biggest weight and beating some of the men's field, because more than 50% of them have been cut by this point. I don't know. I mean, I love Matt Fraser as a competitor. We're going to get his cheeky little smile as he does exactly the same thing as Tia Claire did. Past that little sticking point coming out of the squat, grins, he knows that he's hit it. Epic celebration. So don't get me wrong, live in the moment, I was loving it. This is part of the comeback to claw back the points. He'd lost points, hadn't he, for dropping something out of his ruck on that ruck run event. I don't think he should be top 10. Okay, now, colour me interested. This is the greatest moment in CrossFit Games history. The closest point finish, one of the closest ever actual finishes, the invention of lunging to the line in the final event as being like a really good way to end it, because fittest person ever to do CrossFit, Tia Claire fails and lets Cara Saunders sneak in. I'm more interested about how this is number 3, and that the CrossFit community or CrossFit Games people think that there are 2 better moments than that. Okay, well, I'm happy to be corrected. Suicide sprint, fittest man on earth races the fastest cameraman. But, I mean, this is plain wrong. This is not a better moment than Fibonacci final Tia versus Cara. It's impressive, and I would say that it's up there. Matt Fraser, 2015. Dan Bailey was juggling glasses. He was getting his butt whooped in a sprint event. He lost the CrossFit Games that year. He goes away, he trains, he comes back, and he is the literal winner of this sprint. That is amazing. You've got the fun that surrounds it, of Marsden Sawyers there at the bottom, keeping up with and, well, beating them in the end in that final sprint. If they're saying that the epic moment is Marsden, the cameraman, doing it, then I'm not sure about that. We had a similar thing in 2021, the 440-yard run or whatever it was. There was the constant footage of this cameraman with the gimbal keeping up with the runners. I mean, yeah, it's fun, it's sentimental, but I'm not sure that should be on the top 10 best things ever to happen at the Games. A cameraman ran fast. And this is number 1. Okay, I mean, context I think is important. Performance is important. And I can sort of understand someone picking this as number 1. So Murph 2015, I think it was BKG. I still haven't fact checked that. I think it was BKG who won Murph. And Josh Bridges, you watched the behind the scenes, he was livid about that. That the Americans had let this foreigner win their event. Murph, an American hero. And so he came back this year, and when Murph was re-announced, he was like determined. He was, I'm going to win it. Forget the rest of the Games. This event, no one has taken it from him. I think it was a world record that he set in winning it. And as I've already said now on this video, like Josh Bridges celebrating. Whoosh. That is hype, isn't it? World record, Murph, reclaiming it for the Yanks. I sort of give that as a best ever moment. Well, there we go. I mean, I'm still sort of upset that we are making lists and we're allowing things which aren't CrossFit Games to be a part of it. Juggling glasses, taking your shoes off, the cameraman running. I sort of understand and I sort of get it, and I want to say that context is important. But for me, there are so many moments of actual performance, actual sprint finishes, actual feats of human performance that should be making the list before of all of these sorts of things. Why don't you jump in the comments, tell me if I'm on the money with some of these things, whether I'm way off, what you think about these moments as well. Because we're all just counting down the days, aren't we? Not to Madison anymore, but to Fort Worth and what's going to be happening there. I, for one, cannot wait. I've still got my videos queued up to make biggest lifts, epic finishes, and what have you. They'll be coming over the next 30 days just to get us really in the mood for the top tier, fittest in the world throwing down in Fort Worth, Texas. I cannot wait. So in the meantime, just remember, snap, crackle, pop that top. Don't be a dummy. Work out with your shirt off. Peace.